Hi, kids. My name is Susan Sarandon, and this is the story of Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, a boy named Jack lived with his mother in a bare little cottage. Now, Jack was good-hearted, but he cared so much more for play than he did for work. But his mother was hard put to keep them both fed. One by one, she sold all their poor belongings, and at last the time came when they had nothing left but a cow. "We must sell her too, Jack," sighed his mother. "Take her to market, but see that you get a good price, for when that is gone, I don't know how we shall live." Away went Jack, meaning to make a sharp bargain, but as he neared the town, he fell in with a little old man who admired the cow and offered to buy her. "She's a very fine cow. What will you give me?" asked Jack. "These," said the little old man, and he held out a handful of beans so shiny and bright-colored that Jack could scarcely wait to own them. "Done!" he cried. And without a moment's thought, he gave the cow to the old man and went running home with the beans. His mother did not think them wonderful at all. "Jack, Jack," she cried, "your folly has ruined us at last." Bursting into angry tears, she tossed the beans out the door, and poor Jack crept off to bed, feeling both hungry and ashamed. But in the morning, when he looked out the window, he leaped out of bed in surprise. The beans had sprouted in the night, and from them had grown an enormous beanstalk. Up and up it went, like a great ladder, until its topmost leaves were lost in the clouds. "They were wonderful beans after all," cried Jack, and he was soon out the door and climbing up that strange beanstalk. When at last his head was above the clouds, Jack found himself in a vast, barren land with nothing in sight but a great, forbidding castle. Being very hungry after his long climb, he went straight to its door to ask for a bit to eat. A huge woman answered his knock and stared down at him with fear and amazement. "Whoever you are, and however you came here," she cried, "you must go away before my husband comes home." Now, Jack was frightened in spite of himself, but he was hungry too. He asked for a crust of bread so earnestly that the woman took pity on him and led him into her huge kitchen. Just as she did, great pounding footsteps came toward the castle. The floor quaked, the walls trembled, and the woman's face paled. "My husband is coming," she whispered, and she hid Jack in her huge oven. This was only in the nick of time, for into the room strode a huge man, twice the size of the woman and terrible to behold.
"Fee, fi, fo, fum,"
he bellowed as he came.
"I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread."
He looked under the table and in all the corners, and just as he reached for the door of the oven, his wife found her voice. "Come," cried his wife quickly, setting a platter full of whole roast pigs at his place. "'Tis only your good supper that you smell." The giant soon fell to eating. When he had done, he amused himself with a small speckled hen that laid a golden egg every time he roared,
"Lay."
But at length he grew weary and snored away in his chair. Jack hopped out of the oven and took up the little hen. He went hurrying out of the castle and down the beanstalk. Now, Jack and his mother wanted for nothing in all the world. But Jack climbed the beanstalk once again. This time, when the giant fell asleep, Jack took a beautiful singing harp and went running out the door. But no sooner was he well outside than the harp stopped playing and called out,
"Wake, my master, wake!"
And wake the giant did. Fortunately, he was still clumsy with sleep, and fortunately, Jack went running like the wind. Even so, as his feet touched ground, the giant was halfway down the beanstalk. "Mother," cried Jack, "bring the hatchet." His mother came running, and with his first blow, Jack had cut the beanstalk in two. Down it came, crashing across the meadows, and down came the cruel giant, dead as a stone from that day to this. Jack's mother was so happy to have her son safely home that she cooked a fine meal, almost big enough for a giant to eat. Jack did full justice to his share, and while he did, the little hen clucked merrily, and the little harp played joyfully.